Spending a lot of money on a house or a car is enough to make anybody nervous. And of course, that's just the time we should be aware of the hidden agendas that perhaps the salesperson might have. But we're not. And that makes us easy prey to a slick sales pitch. Allan Pease is Australia's leading body language expert.
And whilst Australian salespeople have a reputation for integrity and honesty, occasionally there might be one or two that might tell you a little fib. So, do you know what to look for when they do it to get the best possible deal? Any questions on this?
Well, I guess I'm the one to ask the questions. Allan, I've got a real problem with salesmen. I'm never sure if they're being honest with me. What do I look for?
Well, come up the front, Catherine, and I'll show you what to look for.
Okay, so what can we do?
Well, the first thing to look for is, can you see the person's hands? Because we know when people are telling the truth, Catherine, their hands will be visible. So if you're being honest with someone, you'll probably say, look, I'm being completely open. But when you're not, there's a tendency to put your hands away. For example, look, I'm being completely open. And of course, if a kid does this, says, Mum, I didn't do it, you know very well the child did it. So can you see the hands as the first? Secondly, Are they touching their hand to their face? Because when people don't tell the truth, they have a tendency to touch their hand on their face. Nose touching is common, ear pulling, eye rubbing, but don't take one of these and say it has a meaning. Take at least three. So if I said to you, for example, Catherine, this home looks absolutely beautiful. If you said to me, you told a lie, Allan, you got it wrong because I had a late night last night and I've got an itchy eye. If there's three things happening, it goes like this. It's a lovely room, Catherine. The price you found sounds really good. I'm sure I can afford to pay it. Perhaps we can discuss it over dinner. Then you've got ulterior motives as well as a pack of lies.
Yes, okay. But how can I get my offer across? You know, I'm not very good at doing that. If I'm buying or selling, say I'm selling my car, how can I get my offer across and still not lose out?
Okay, so...
Being honest.
You are being honest. Well, a couple of things. The first premise in doing business in Australia is to make the person your friend, to get on good terms with them. Because if I really like you, and I've got three people who've made a similar sort of offer, I'm going to give it to the person that I feel the most comfortable with. And selling something like a home, for example, it's an emotional thing. I want someone to come in and look after my home that I've lived here for 20 years.
Sure.
And if I really like you and think you're capable of doing it, there's a good chance I'll drop the price. So first is make the person your friend. Now, to make a low offer is an interesting thing, and the average Australian really doesn't know how to do that. What you do, you look at the property, you look at the car, you look at whatever the thing is that's being sold, and you say, gee, the price you're asking for that, Catherine, I can see how you've worked it out, and gee, I bet it's worth that too. And I'd really love to make you an offer on it, but I've added up my budget, and I can't quite come within the ballpark of what you want, so I don't want to be rude and make you a low offer, so I won't even bother. So what's the next question?
So what's your lowest offer? Yes.
Well,
what's your lowest bid?
Well, gee, it's too low. I really wouldn't want to insult you by making that bid.
Yes, so I automatically want to say then, well, make me an offer.
Well, yeah, I was thinking around, you want $20,000 for the car. I was thinking about $14,000. That's assuming that the price you want to pay is about, say, 16 or 17. $14,000. So what I've done is I've made you a very low offer, but you're still my friend. You're not insulted because I'm obviously reasonable and you've asked me to do it. And that's the key to making a low offer. Make them your friend.
But now, I mean, I really need that $18,000 for that car, which I've advertised at $20,000. So then how do I then process that on to get that person to move from $14,000 up to, say, $18,000?
Well, what's going to happen, I've got to establish what your lowest price is, and you've got to try and establish what my highest price is. So what you would say is, well, gee, I really thank you for that, but it is too low, and I've got 3 more people who are coming off the ad this afternoon to have a look at it. Why don't you leave that as a standing offer, and I'll get back to you in a few days. Now, let's say that I might be prepared to pay $17,000. And I really want that car. If I get in my vehicle and drive away, you'll know it was a sincere offer. But if it wasn't a sincere offer, and I'm a smart buyer, I'll get in the car, I'll start the motor up, and then I'll stop and get out and make you a higher offer. But if the person drove off, you know that that's a good chance that's the lowest offer they'll give you.
Right, and then you know that that's something that you can actually build on.
That's what you can build on.
Okay,
yes.
So the first thing I've got to watch for now is the open palms.
Palms open.
Not touching the face.
I touch the face.
Over 3 particular episodes.
Yes.
And really just knowing how to bid in terms of making that person my friend. And being able to say, no, this is my lowest level or this is my highest level.
Absolutely. And if somebody says, as you said right back at the start, if you can't say no just to a salesperson, what you do is when you're selling something and someone makes you an offer, say, I'll get back to you tomorrow. I can't make the final decision myself. And go away and think about it. That way you don't leave yourself gullible.
Gee, Allan, thanks.
It's been my pleasure, Catherine. Trust me.